All right. Well, obviously we're looking at a real good Bills team here. I think that, Brandon and Sean have done a real good job putting this team together. They're very talented, well balanced, well coached. With Leslie and Brian, they really do a good job. On offense, defense, they're really solid in the kicking game, well balanced there. They got a big core of, 7 or 8 guys, plus Bass, plus McKenzie. Just, from top to bottom, just a good football team that does everything well. They're statistically at the top of the league in, categories in every area. And they deserve to be. They're well coached. They play smart football and they're tough. And as I said, they're very, very well balanced. Offensively, it really starts with Allen. He can do it all. Got a good offensive line. Knox has done a good job for him. Multiple receivers, multiple backs. All those guys are productive. Defensively, they've added a couple young players to their front there with Basham and Rousseau. Otherwise, a very veteran, talented, disruptive group. Lead the league in tackles for loss and things like that. They really do a good job of creating negative plays. Obviously, haven't given up a lot of points. Linebackers are very good. Milano and Edmonds probably as good as anybody we play. Safeties, secondary again, well coordinated defense. And again, really physical in the kicking game. Brought back all their key players from last year. Matakavich, Jones, Smith, the whole crew. They have good size, they got good speed. They're disruptive, they're physical. Good field goal kicker. Just really, solid there. He's done a good job with that group, and they're very sound. Just from top to bottom, good team, good solid team, good as anybody we played. We'll know it'll take a good effort from us Monday night, and that's what we're getting ready to prepare to do. Play well, coach well, be ready to go Monday night.
Josh Allen's grown a lot over the last 4 years.
His improvement has just been tremendous from where it was 3 years ago. Completion percentage, passer rating, decision making, production. It's just gone. It's risen at a really remarkable rate. It's just remarkable how good he has become. Last year, this year he's built on that. What it was when he came into the league, but he's really made tremendous improvement. And, has a lot of command of the offense. They audible a lot. They change things. They obviously have a lot of confidence in him. He handles them well on the line. They rarely run a bad play, or where they run into a bad look or a blitz or something like that. He doesn't get fooled much by anything. It's really really impressive to watch how he's developed there.
When it comes to player development, do you ever look at another team or a situation and try to take something from that? Obviously player development is different from player to player, but like with the Bills and Josh Allen, was there something they did that you could take and apply to your staff or your players when it comes to trying to help a player grow?
Look, we look at the other 31 teams in the league. That's all we have to look at. We're not going to, get anything from, other football conferences and leagues and stuff like that. So, whether it's, the way teams have done anything successfully, to contracts, drafting, free agency, player development, schemes, if there's anything that we identify that's good with anybody, then we take a look at it. And some teams we see closer than others, like our division teams we play twice a year, but definitely we look at everybody in the league, and if there's something that somebody else is doing well, we try to figure out what it is, see if it can apply to us and how we can use it and so forth. But that's, without a doubt, we're always looking to find a better way, or to look at what we do and see if there's a different or better way to do it, or how we can improve. Absolutely.
Can you compare his development to to any player that you can remember, Bill, in your time?
Well, I don't know, but it's been pretty good.
Yeah. How does Brian Daboll maximize his skill set, Allen's skill set?
Yeah, you have to ask Brian that. I don't know. He does everything well. Brian's a good coach. Puts a lot of pressure on the defenses every week. It's not always the same thing. He's creative, comes up with different ways to attack different defenses and different ways to utilize his personnel. So you'd have to ask him. I don't know.
I think Dawson Knox has as many touchdowns as Diggs. I think they both have 7. What has he done in the red zone and in the open area to kind of get himself free?
He's a big athletic guy that can catch the ball. He's got a good quarterback. They're down there a lot. I mean, he does a good job. They got a lot of other good players too. You just can't concentrate on one guy. I don't know.
You mentioned Matt Milano. Is his versatility the kind of thing that stands out most about him, the way they use him?
I mean, they basically play the same defense all the time, and they're in a nickel defense. It's him and Edmonds, and they do what they do. They play a lot of zone, blitz zone, play a little bit of man, and they blitz a little bit, but not an extraordinary amount. But they're effective when they do it. They're good at everything. Edmonds is really one of the top players in the league, and he and Milano complement each other. Well. Matt's a little lighter, maybe but I mean, Edmonds is a big guy. He's a thumper. He's fast. They're both very instinctive. They work well together. It's similar to Hyde and Poyer, the way they complement and work off each other at safeties with their disguises and just kind of playing off each other, at times as plays develop, misdirection plays and things like that. And so they, again, it's a very well coordinated defensive unit, and the players work well and adjust well with each other on things that that come up, and they just I don't know if that's exactly the way they want to cover or handle certain things, but they work it out and they handle it, and then it's effective. So they work well together, Milano and Edmonds especially.
How do you see them use Hyde and Poyer in their defense at the safeties?
How they use them?
Yeah.
And they're interchangeable. They can both do the same things. They play off each other well. They disguise well.
Are they aggressive in the run game, would you say?
Definitely. Yeah, the whole defense is aggressive in everything. That's why they're one of the best defenses in the league. They're aggressive on the run, aggressive on the pass. They cover well. They rush well. Play zone. They play man-to-man. They blitz. They mix it up. Good at all of it.
I know you described them as a do-what-they-do defense, but as you look at your matchups against them since McDermott got there, have they defended your passing game year to year in a similar fashion?
Well, I think last year was a little bit different, but again, they have a good variety in their system. I'm not saying they just they do one thing. They don't do that, but the things they do complement each other well. It's hard to tell which one they're doing because they all kind of look the same. They're basically out of the same personnel group. It's hard. It's hard to know which safety's coming, or if it's a boundary corner, or which linebacker's coming, or if they're going to drop out and fake like they're going to come. They're going to stunt the line. If they're going to play base, they're going to rotate, not rotate. And they just do a good job on all those things.
Bill, how big of a loss is Tre'Davious White to this Bills defense?
Yeah, he's a really good player. You'd have to ask him. I don't know. He's a really good player, but they seem to be very good at having depth and using their depth and being able to have enough people to play well through an NFL season. They went 13-3 last year, and nobody goes through a season without having to deal with something, and they've done it, and they've brought in. Breed has given them depth at running back, and as I said, they've got a couple of defensive ends. They juggled some guys on the offensive line, but with Brown and Williams going inside, so You know, they have a deep team. They just keep going.
So what have you noticed in the last couple of weeks in how Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson have sort of complemented each other the way they're being?
Yeah, I mean, we have confidence in all our backs. They've all been productive. Brandon's been productive. Andre and Damian have been productive. James White was productive. You know, JJ was productive when he had an opportunity, as many as the other three guys, or four guys, including James. But yeah, we're fortunate we have good depth in the backfield, and they've all been productive.
How about their running styles, like Damian and Ramondre? Do you see a lot of similarities between their running styles?
No, they're both bigger, physical guys, but I don't know. They're both productive.
And that position, I mean, over the years, you guys have been pretty successful sharing the load there, maybe outside of Corey in 2004. Is there anything that from your past just that you've always felt like that's a good way to go?
No, not necessarily.
Bill, how challenging an environment is this, the one that you're facing, in terms of just dealing with the noise? I know you guys try to practice that with music and things like that.
Yeah, we prepare for it every week, so it's probably louder out there in practices in the game. Either way, it's loud, so yeah, I don't know.
Bill, how's Emmanuel Sanders complimented Diggs, Beasley, and also the fourth receiver there, Davis? Your thoughts on him and how dangerous he can be because you have to pay so much attention to those other guys?
Yeah, well, they all compliment each other well. You know, Gabe plays a decent amount. He's in there, and he plays all three spots, so he could be in there for any one of the big three. But yeah, Sanders is obviously a very crafty receiver, an excellent route runner. You know, primarily plays X, but not always, and they use a lot of formations, you know, with all three receivers on the same side, Knox backside. I mean, so there's some of that too, and empty and things like that. So he definitely moves around, and you know, he's effective in all spots. You know, he played slot in college, and he's played inside before, primarily outside, but I mean, he's good in both spots. Good hands, you know, does a great job on the sideline, keeping his feet in bounds, and you know, making those sideline catches. And obviously, Allen can zip the ball out there, so you know, you have to defend every inch of the field. You know, against these guys in the passing game. So, but he's a smart, crafty guy that runs well, has good quickness, and is a very good route runner.
With Jalen versus Mills started transitioning here, was there any overlap from what you could see on film or in conversations with him playing under Coach Schwartz and the techniques that he's now using in your system?
I'm sure some things were similar, some things are different. I mean, their core coverage, or I'd say the lead coverage they used at Philly is not one that we use a lot of. So, but and again, Jones played a lot of football. He played at LSU, played in a great program down there. You know, been in the league for 5 years. So, he's played off man, press man, 3 deep zone, 2 deep zone, quarters coverage, blitz coverage. So it's not like he's never done those things.
Final question? Bill, we had seen you after the game, the moment where you and Kendrick Bourne were talking about, using the stiff arm. Is that something that you coached up with him? And, what's it like when a player embraces something like that and, uses it to his advantage?
Yeah, well, as a coach, you love to be able to help a player, improve or do something better. And I think there's, a lot of mutual satisfaction when that happens. If you help a player do something, it makes a play. And, he feels good about it, you feel good about it, and that's kind of what we get paid to do for a living. All right, great, thank you.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents, I've gone up against thousands.